Hey, my Taurus babies, what's happening? This is EJ from Taurota Tarot. Trying to get my act together here. At any rate, looking at the calendar, looking at the clock, I'm like, the hell, I might as well just start doing the yearlies now. There's no sense of waiting. Shit, what? Another 10 days? 11 days left in the year? Fuck it, we gonna do Taurus and Cancer. Sitting in a tree, Kissing, for the year 2021. How about them apples? How about them apples? I am not even gonna stand here and try to prognosticate about what I thought I saw. I'm gonna just get the damn cards on the board and keep this activity moving. So we got the Ace of Swords, the Justice card up on the top, the Challenge, the King of Pentacles. One thing I was kind of picking up on, the two of you are trying to work together. And that part is cool. But I think where things might get off the rails at some point, is going to be because mentally, Taurus, you going to just, and I'm a bull, so I've done this before, you just going to take off on your own direction. Something is going to come up at some point next year. I'm going to say probably the first half rather than the last half. That's going to get your full attention. So this is something other than romance. So it may be school, it might be your job, there may be an opening that you've been keeping your eye on, and now, pa-da, here it is. And Taurus, you are just going to, you're gonna lose your shit. Because it's going to be like, damn, I've been waiting on this forever. But in that, you might leave poor Cancer stranded on the beach. I'm just saying. And looking at the number of major cards that are on the board for this reading, I know I'm not telling no lies here. And it's just what I said. What the hell? The High Priestess. And this is about an inner dilemma. Taurus, this is you all day on top of the doggone King of Pentacles. It's this inner dilemma. You got, yeah, it's almost like you need to leave logic behind, because you leave logic behind. Your point here, if this is the relationship you want to keep and maintain, your point here is to not leave logic anywhere and to try to get in alignment with what you really want. All the shit I got written on there, courage and treachery and some other shit. This is the King of Pentacles. For an earth sign, this is the end-all, be-all, besides the Queen, of stability. Period. You cannot you can't get no wild hair up your ass, Taurus. I know. I'm sorry. You can't do it next year. And I have this, I can just see the running of the bulls. Because you are going to be off to the races. And this is tricky, but it's also very important because I'm putting the onus on Taurus because that's the perspective I'm reading from, and that's where the energy, the dominant energy, is coming from right now. The tricky part is to not suffer any painful losses unnecessary painful losses next year without losing your shit. That's the best way I know how to say this. With the Ace of Swords and the Two of Cups on top, that Ace is telling me it's about making important decisions, particularly where your love life is concerned. So you're going to roll into the new year with the Cancer on the brain. I love my boo-boo. That whole little activity right there. But if you will, the darker side, the Justice and the Eight of Pentacles, it's a caution here, because she also talks about opportunities. She's that bitch. Opportunities to grow. And while this may not be kicked in for you full tilt yet, Taurus, this is going to be where you end up pretty much. And this is the shit that's in your gut. What are you doing for you? How are you expanding your world so you can make you and Cancer's world better? That's not a bad thing, but there's a note of caution there about running off to the races. I'm just saying, it's all right there. And sometimes we can confuse working hard with avoidance. I know y'all like, where the hell are you going with this? And if you're growing the way that I think you're growing, Taurus, and I don't mean tall or wide-wise, I mean intellectually growing, it's a natural thing to want to get it all, know it all, do it all right now. But if you are going to try and maintain a healthy balance in your relationship, we would just kick the month off, the whole year off, with some objectivity. That's not always easy. That's the Six of Swords. But this is about you having some objectivity about what you want to do and how what you want to do fits in the larger scheme of things. And then, Three of Wands, having some foresight about maybe where you might need to gird things up before all hell breaks loose. And maybe even just putting some distance in between work and play. So those of you that are at home working still because of the pandemic and you don't see any light at the end of the tunnel, we're going back to a real building anytime soon. The caution in that is, are you prepared at any point to go back to work? Ready to row the boat back to the office. Again, though, maintaining some level of objectivity so that you are not just thinking about how this is impacting you, but how it's impacting y'all. That part right there. So just note the month of January is going to be about having some foresight, but also about having some objectivity, putting some emotional distance between you and what it is you're trying to accomplish. A lot of times we get our emotions all caught up. Go to school, yeah. I got promotion, yeah. And we just get caught up. Cancer's extra sensitive next year. I don't know what, I didn't... The Ace of Cups. What else did you want me to say? They are going to be extra sensitive next year. And that is going to require some clarity on your part, Taurus, so that Cancer does not just feel like they've been kicked to the curb. And this is going to show itself up early on in the year. It might not be the full tilt thing, it's going to be later on in the year, but it's going to show up. And it's sitting on top of the Ten of Swords, and the Ten of Swords talks about a change of fortune. So that could very well be the beginning, Taurus, of you figuring out, finding out, whatever it is, and maybe just hearing the preliminaries of whatever it is, and you getting kind of excited. Don't forget, Cancer here, they're already sensitive. You see all that water? They're going into the year sensitive. So let that be a word to you. March has, there are going to be some sacrifices you're going to have to make towards whatever it is that you're trying to do, whatever this is up in the air. But the Fool, yeah. Okay, so the back end of this talks about your intuition moving you forward. But where we get here, painful, necessary losses. So there's a level of sacrifice, and that's major energy. There's a level of sacrifice that's going to have to be made by you, Taurus, not you in Cancer, but by you, first 3 months of the year next year. That is sitting on top of the Five of Swords, whatever it is that you may be trying to resolve, trying to move forward, but having to let some things go. You may not feel like anything is resolved. All the shit you do the first 3 months of the year, you get to April and be like, wait, I put, that part right there. And that's okay. Do not run around trying to fix shit. Some of this you're going to have to let go of the control, Taurus. I know that's difficult. I know it's difficult, but you at some point you may have to just let some things go. That's the necessary loss part. So you can have a better overall view of what it is that you're getting ready to get into, and how, again, that's going to fit in the bigger scheme of things. But nothing, this is just the beginning, so you're not going to feel like anything is resolved at that point. With the Knight of Wands on top of the Eight of Cups, here we go. Talking about making decisions, and how aggressive are you going to be, Taurus, about doing whatever it is that you're trying to do. Now, the other side of this card talks about departures. So, for some of you, Taurus and Cancer pairings, there may be, in the background, some talk, because by now you are full in spring, and Cancer might be going, what the fuck? Where did my bowl go? I'm just saying. So this is going to get in the air. Time to get to the end of March, first part of April. I don't think it's going to be discussed, but it's definitely going to be in the background, because Taurus, whatever it is, and this is all good, timing might not be spectacular, but for you, Taurus, whatever it is that you have going on in your professional or academic life is good. But again, I told you, Cancer's coming into this emotional, off the rip. It's the ace. Second month of the year, which you want me to tell you. Some of you may have to make a decision about what you're going to do with your current situation. Now, this, when you get into the spring, is just the door cracking open. This is not time to just pack up all your shit. Okay, I'm leaving, bye. No. But there will probably be some things that the universe just throws in for good measure, and it will naturally leave the door open for any kind of conversation you may need to have. And for some of you, you may need to break up. It doesn't need to be a permanent breakup. For some of you, that World card, there will be an ending. Back up here, there may be an ending, and that just tickles me all the time, the Sun and the Death card. But it's almost, I want to tell you, you need this to let go of whatever it is. So those of you that may be in relationships with your Cancer, and as you progress into next year, you may find that you've, talking to you now, Taurus, you may have grown out of the relationship. That's what that's telling me. Once again, we come right back here. This is where the door gets cracked open for that. For some of you, you may need to just hear the word slow down, especially if you're thinking about disconnecting from your Cancer. I don't get a feeling, though, that a lot of you are going to try to do that. I think the relationship itself will go through a transformation. And then once you get into the fall, things will kind of pick up down here and giddy up and get on. But up here, your first part of the year, first 6 months of the year, you got the Devil card, trying to see the light of reason. And this may be you explaining to your Cancer, Taurus, this is what I'm trying to do. This is the bigger vision, the foresight that I have for us. But in the meantime, it's going to have me doing all kind of weird, crazy, stupid shit, working weird hours, whatever. Page of Wands talked about a lover and a message. So it may be a point where you just have to just go take your separate corners and chill out. But that's also about a new beginning. So some of you, like I said, some of you may not weather the storm. Your relationship, for whatever, wherever it is in the process, it might not make it through all of next year because both of you are growing, but Taurus, you especially growing exponentially. And Cancer may just decide to just drop out, like, whatever, I can't do this, too much, blah, 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 whatever. But for those of you that hang in there, here's your new beginning. And because you are letting your little light shine, Taurus, this also means transformation for the relationship. And sometimes it has to happen. The individuals in the relationship have to just flex whatever muscles and spread their wings and do whatever it is they're going to do for themselves and come back to the relationship. And then the relationship is that much stronger. Now, let's come back up here to the Three of Wands and the Six of Swords. Foresight. I know I wrote it on there, foresight. Taurus, now might be the time to start having conversations about, boo, if I decided to do the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, what you think? Back into this objectivity, this changes, okay? But here might be the time. And start putting some emotional distance between whatever it is you're trying to do in your Cancer and help your Cancer begin to see the logic. I think whatever this is for you, Taurus, it is for you and it is very good and it will help you, propel you, whatever you're trying to do. But again, don't forget, Cancer's coming into the year on a weepy note. And it's all good. The Cancers go to the Pisces, the Scorpios, they go through their thing. And that's all right. But if you're trying to make any kind of big changes, you might want to back up here, talking about that foresight, and start having some conversations. Even if you're not aware of something, Taurus. Ultimately, this is what you're trying to do. You're trying to get your little light out in the open, hang your shingle, do your thing. And it doesn't have to be the end of you in your Cancer. But you may have to do, again, some early January, February footwork. So when this transformation starts happening, which will start with you, Cancer won't be feeling left out, like they were caught blindsided or didn't know or whatever. Just saying. July, August, September, all major cards. The moon, the world, the star. I'm going to say those of you that hang in here, if you get this far next year, you will together try to deal with whatever demons. And this is obviously, as I'm saying, it's for Cancers and Tauruses that have been around each other for a while. This ain't, you know, the one you met at the Memorial Day picnic and saw again for Labor Day and decided right around Thanksgiving y'all were going to start dating. No, this is not for y'all. There are nuggets here. If you are a new Taurus Cancer couple, there are nuggets and gems here for you to grab up. But the bigger story is about those who have been in this for a minute. And now it's just time for Taurus to grow. So as you're going through this process, you're going to have to just, the two of you, you're going to have to sit down and go, okay, this is what I'm trying to do. What are you trying to do? Well, I'm scared. I don't know if this is that conversation. which leads to planning and progression. Now the relationship has got some footing, some traction, if you will, because you're communicating and sharing. It's major energy. That puts your relationship on a completely different footing. More sunshine. Now, we done gone from the individual sun to the collective. Oh, shit. Doors opening, doors closing. At this point, those of you that probably aren't going to withstand whatever difficulties this is going to present, it will probably be in the fall that you'll break up. And it won't be a bad thing. There may be some hurt feelings and some more shit, but it's not going to be one of the get out of my house. More sad than argumentative, I'll say that. But those of you that keep it plugging in now, by this time, Cancer will begin to see Taurus what the hell you've been saying all year about how great and wonderful everything is. And so then we get here, Star card, hopes, wishes, and dreams. You may, with the Eight of Swords, encounter just some random fear, for lack of a better anything. And this might be that moment where, am I really sure I want to do this? And some of you, as Taurus and Cancer couples, may decide to move somewhere in here, out of state, or out of the city that you're currently living in, but still in the same state. Just know the way will be clear for the two of you to forge ahead. Keep the lines of communication open. Keep your thoughts, you see that star sitting up on top of her head? Keep your thoughts positive. And try to infuse your relationship with positivity. Again, with the understanding that Cancer is this is gonna be, I think for a lot of Cancers, it's gonna be a rough year emotionally because they're going through their thing, and that's okay. But this might feel like, if you don't explain it to them, Taurus, this might feel like you just trying to stab them in the back, leave them, or abandon them. They may take it that way. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying they may take it that way. So try your best to keep the lines of communication open next year. With the Queen of Swords and the Page of Pentacles. So you got this side, but this side talks about optimism and the enthusiasm, I'm gonna throw that in there, that gets the initiative going, to get shit going. Oh, okay, now Cancer's on board. This is what we're doing. We're gonna buy a new house. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. Not everybody's feeling accomplished. But understand, Taurus, it will, if you're smart on this, you will begin to see the fruits of your labor for laying out the groundwork early. Pot out. I'm just saying. So this initiative, y'all keep it together. That optimism, enthusiasm, so y'all can start doing what it is you really want to do. With the Seven of Cups and the Queen of Wands, there may be some things that come out. Those are options, depending on what option you choose. That part right there. There may be some hidden truths that come out. And not that anybody was trying to cover anything up, but just like when you're moving from a house, and that sofa been sitting in the same place for the last 3 years, and you moved that sucker, you found money, cigarettes, all kind of crap underneath the sofa. It's a little bit of that in there, and in that, some hidden truths may come out. Nothing, I know that says deception, nothing it's nothing malevolent. Let me say that. Anything that you find out, Taurus, and I guess Cancer, if you cross-watching, you too, anything that you find out, it'll be like, oh, you were doing that all the time? But it's going to be dependent on the choices. I'm not even dealing with this deck. I'm just looking at Seven of Cups, the choices and the options that you are going to be confronted with. Once you make that decision, which of course is grounded in hope, and you're out of the fog, so I'm not going to even say this is an illusion on this side, because you're looking just straight at what the hell you got. So by the time you get here, you will have gone through all this, what it's looking like and what it ain't looking like. You get here, and I think whatever that is, you may have a newfound respect for each other, because you may find out, I didn't know you took that old lady to work every day. It'll be something just like that. But it's a hidden truth. But in that hidden truth, you may gain a new respect for your partner. At the end of all of this, the Empress coming into prosperity. Got the Death card twice. Transformation complete by the time you get to the end of the year. One way or the other. If you stay together, if you don't stay together, you will deal with fears that you haven't had to deal with before, and you will overcome them. But I really believe most of you are going to roll through this like, hey, how y'all doing? You see my boo? And that's what you're aiming for. That's exactly what you're aiming for. You want that little picture right there. And Taurus, you're already feeling this. Like I said, it feels like a lot of you don't know that you got opportunities, or you don't necessarily know where the opportunities are going to come from. So it's going to probably catch you off guard when it happens. And like I said, all I see is running of the bull. The bull's going to be gone. Oh, they got a whole new library. And that's it. Done deal. Don't forget your partner, Taurus. Don't forget your partner. Look, the High Priestess. Give you some kind of insight and blessing. As you go forward, because that's your challenge, on top of that King of Pentacles. And again, the object of all of this is just grind that foundation down so that you are standing on solid rock when all of this is through. And for a lot of you, that means going back to school. A lot of others, it means getting another job. For a whole other group of you, it means starting your own business. All of that's big shit. Just saying, especially after this year, all of that's huge. So, if you are happy with your Cancer, Taurus, make sure that you keep the lines of communication open. Now, if you one of them, if you ain't happy, you ready for something new, let things unfold organically. Just because they said it doesn't make it true. What's more important? There are no excuses. Oh boy, that's hard. Of course, as with every couple situation, you got people throwing daggers in from the sidelines, don't know shit. There may be some troublemakers that crop up next year. Taurus, I'm talking to you now. So just be aware. And you might need to tell Cancer, yo, just because they talking that y'all don't mean it's true. That's not what's going on. There's an element here of Cancer, if I had to put a visual on it, just kind of standing on the porch watching you drive by, Taurus, trying to figure out where did all of this come from. And after the kind of year we've had, I'm not surprised. Again, if you're trying to make this and keep this relationship going, keep lines of communication open. And then at some point, you need to determine what's more important. Is it more important to take a pause for the cause so you can go back to school or get this job in LA or whatever it is, so the relationship can be on solid ground? Don't forget, that's your challenge. That's the object of the game here. At the end of this, there are no excuses for any of this not happening. There's no excuse for you, Taurus, not to reach the stars. That means another job, going back to school. There's no excuse for you not to do it. Cancer's got you, but you're going to have to communicate. There's no excuse for not communicating. That part right there. I love y'all. I hope y'all have a good Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you're celebrating. Happy winter solstice today. Have a happy new year. Love y'all. Bye-bye.